Alright, hello again. It's beach day. The wind isn't too bad, so I thought maybe I could make my video on the beach. When I was testing to see whether or not I was high enough or whatever, the last video, my top of my head was at the same level as the horizon. So we'll see if that's the case. So I'm talking to you, but you are a wall. It's very different having this distance between the camera. It's not like I'm talking to you like I was before. It's somehow within this distance is like intimate. Within this distance, it's not. How's it going? So so here we are. My dog is over there. I don't know if you can see him. He's I don't know, right over there. He's a Lhasa, so he might fly. But he's looking out at the ocean, which is what you do here. But so one of the things that I'm struggling with that I recently realized is this. So when you're in a relationship and you're trying to, I want to balance out the other person, like they're strong in areas that I'm weak, right? That's really great of a thing to say. It's been said a bunch of times and not really an action. And so I have often felt in those circumstances where I feel like I'm inadequate and my partner is really good at it, I often feel like, oh man, and I understand now that that's probably not the best way of thinking. I made a decision not to be this victim, and I think feeling like that, oh man, like they're kind of pulling you along, like, come on kid, like let me show you how to really do it. Like, say you're not really good at negotiating returns, but your partner is, right? And they're like, fine, just give me the receipt and I'll do it. Or whatever that is, right? That's kind of like, for me anyway, it's been always kind of like not a great feeling. And so I recently realized that why I do that is because whatever it is that my partner is better at than I am. Okay, so let's just say I'm this much of whatever it is, feeling comfortable taking back receipts, right? Returning items. But they are this much. So this space in my head is me being inadequate, right? So I have to define, in order to accept their help, I have to define my limit, right? Of where, that's all I got. And what I got, it's not like the worst, but it's certainly room for improvement. And so it's really challenging to admit, where my limit is, and then be like, hell yeah, my partner is great at returns. You know what? She's done X, Y, and Z, and she didn't even have a receipt, right? You can be like that, sure, on a lot of different things, but I think on that more like a core level of things, like, because you don't want somebody necessarily to only complete you in returning items to the store. You want more that way. But, and I understand like the difference of like needing somebody to complete you, right? I'm not talking about that kind of thing, like I'm insufficient and I can only be whole with another person, right? I'm not necessarily talking about that. What I'm saying is, like, in things that you struggle with, like, feeling comfortable talking to your family members or bringing up things at work, that are challenging or things like that, and they have kind of simple, easy, and because that's just what they're good at, and then allowing them to just give you that information and like, all right, cool, like, here's another situation And I'm proud of them. I'm proud of my partner's ability to see that top, let's just call it 2/3 and 1/3, that top third. I don't know, what do you think? What do you think it's thinking? Give it let's just say hi to the seagull for a minute. I fantasize about orcas like jumping up out of the water, and then I get to see one. They've been spotted along the coast, but I haven't seen one. But it would be great. It would be great to see that. So anyway, so the bottom 2/3 and the top third, being really super proud of them, and thankful that they have that ability to see my own limit, you know, to admit my own limit, to feel comfortable with my limit, and saying, hey, you know, like, this kind of thing makes me uncomfortable, because then I have to define where I think I'm at, and really naming a limit. And that's really challenging for me, because I don't want to sit there and be like, so like in this category I'm only like a 67. I know you think I'm great, but see, this is all shit. And I know it's not shit, right? It's not, because we're all great and we all do wonderful things, and that's great, and I'm great and I do wonderful things, right? But there's still those things that you're trying to improve. And so then, like, learning it, seeing it as like not necessarily an education, but it's kind of like that, like the opportunity to learn from your partner, like, because that's what you're trying to do anyway, right? You want that kind of connection, and I certainly feel good when I'm able to show somebody, like, how to make a fire in the fireplace, or, you know, how to think differently, you know, or whatever it is that I'm doing, that somebody's like, oh my gosh, I've never thought of that way. So have that same kind of thought process. I wonder what people are gonna think. This guy, he's like, why is he talking to the wall? Just doing drugs, guys. Just doing drugs. No. But yeah. So that's. I know. Isn't it beautiful? Beautiful. There's some birds out there. You can see them on the wave. They just dive right underneath every time the wave comes. They just head first right into the wave. Though a couple of weeks ago I was taking pictures down that way, and one bird got tumbled in the water. But anyway, so it's good. It's almost blue, as you can see. It wants to be. It's just beautiful. And it's good to be in a good place, to feel comfortable, and like admit those shortcomings, you know, in a safe space. So that was something that I recently learned. I'll show you the rest of the ocean, huh? Might as well. See, is it gonna get to the foam? It's so quiet. The waves are so different when there's this foam here. They're much more quiet. That's why I was able to do the video today like this, because they're quieter. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. Here we go, there's a seagull. Beautiful bird. They're kind of like clouds, you know, they're gray and white. I don't know, a little bit of sun on the tip of their beaks. Yeah, it's really nice. Thanks. See ya.